Hey, it's Olitoyin Williams of olitoyinwilliams.com, HR career coach and author. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to answer the question, tell me about your weaknesses as an HR professional. If this is the first time you're watching my videos, this channel is dedicated to supporting HR professionals to be able to grow their careers and enjoy a really fulfilling career as an HR person. Now, let's talk about two principles I would love to clarify with you before we delve into the answer to that question. Tell me about your weaknesses. Now, first off, your weakness is not a personality trait. As an HR professional, I don't want you getting into interviews and pitching a weakness as a personality trait. No, your weakness is not a personality trait. Second thing, your weakness is not a strength in disguise. As an HR professional, you should know that we've heard literally all sorts of answers. So if someone comes to an interview, especially an HR interview, and they say, oh, what are your weaknesses? And then you start to couch a weakness as a strength in disguise, they can easily smell that you're not telling the truth, and that would lose credibility for you rather than increase your credibility. So, having explained those two principles, I would love to go into my framework for responding to the question, tell me about your weaknesses, or what are your weaknesses, or what are you currently working on? I have used this framework to support many of the people that I have coached to successfully go on to pass their HR interviews and land fantastic HR roles. So now that we have clarified the two principles of what not to do or what not to say when it comes to you describing your weakness, let us now go ahead to describe how you can describe your weakness within an interview context. So first off, you can say something like, I am quite concerned about getting things done, and because of that, I could come across as being impatient when working with my colleagues or co-workers because I am constantly requesting for updates. Now, if you wanted to shoot yourself in the head, you would say, oh, I micromanage people a lot. That will be a terrible weakness to have as an HR professional, and you do not want to say that. So using that example, you've been able to give a context of how you demonstrate your weakness and what people perceive when they come in contact with you or interact with you when you're displaying that weakness. Now, to top that question, you now need to be able to tell the interviewer what you're doing in order to be able to overcome that weakness. Remember, a weakness is something that you're working on and you will improve on. So you can say something like this, I am really concerned about getting work done quickly, and because of that, I would constantly request for updates from my team members. But after I got the feedback about how my team members felt about that kind of behavior, I started to look at structuring how we request feedback and keep on top of task by putting in place maybe a weekly meeting or a twice weekly meeting or once in every 2 weeks meeting, whatever you feel you want to go with. Now, why are you going to do that? You're going to do that because you want to demonstrate to the interviewer that 1, you're very self-aware, 2, you take feedback, 3, you're ready to adjust based on the feedback you've been given. And what does that then tell your interviewer? That you're somebody who is quite aware of what you do and how that impacts your team members. And secondly, when you get feedback from team members, you will be quick to find a way to resolve it and ensure that work continues to carry on. So without necessarily overselling yourself, you've been able to demonstrate how a weakness is currently being managed and how that puts you into a position where you're a very good candidate for the role. Next thing you might be wondering, okay, so Olitoyin, how do I find out my weaknesses? I'll give you 2 tips for how you find out your weaknesses. I want you to get a clean sheet of paper, a pen and paper, and brainstorm a list. Now, this list is a private list, so it doesn't have to be visible to others. You don't have to discuss it with anybody that you don't want them to know about this. So brainstorm your list. What are the things that your line manager has consistently complained about? What are the things that have come up in your last couple of appraisal circles that you've been asked to work on or think about? What are the things that people have given you feedback about? So that's 3. I've given you an extra 1. Now, what would that do? The minute you're able to sit down with that list, you would be able to identify the things your line manager has constantly given you feedback on, the things that have come up in your last couple of appraisals that you haven't been too excited about, but it came up, so you have to put them down. And then any conversations that you've had with your coworkers, your colleagues, your bestos at work, who've told you, you know what, when you do this, I feel in a certain type of way, and that's why I'm telling you this. So you took on that feedback, maybe most likely, hopefully apologized for how it made them feel, but you're going to brainstorm that list. Now, once you brainstorm that list, I need you to pick your top 5. The top 5 weaknesses on that list. You're then going to try and couch an answer that would reflect the context where that weakness comes up. And then secondly, what are you doing about it? So clarify what the weakness is, clarify the context that the weakness shows up, clarify what you're doing about it. And with that, you're going to be able to weave a beautiful response to the question, tell me about your weakness as an HR professional. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and you can click below. I have put in there a special guide for you to help you to craft your mini bio whenever you're going for your next HR interview. Till the next video, take care and I'll see you.